No victory without work. Because success isn't given, it's earned. Welcome to Adrian College.
Bulldog fans, remember to follow Adrian College TV on social media. For game highlights and campus events, you can catch it all on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at Adrian College TV. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our future streams live and support your Bulldogs.
No goalie in front of the net, and the Bulldogs score! Bosman with a breakaway opportunity. She has the goalie to be. She goes backside. Bulldogs score!
Continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. "161 years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence."
I believe that if you get your degree here, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking. Welcome in a home-and-home matchup as the Bulldogs welcome the Purple Raiders of Mount Union inside Docking Family Stadium. My name is Sean Whitmer, and joining me today is my color commentator,
Michael Schubeck.
Thank you for that, as didn't want to mess up your last name the first time saying it. So, Michael, we enter today two teams. They played each other last year. Adrian ended up coming out victorious. They're 3-0 all-time against the Purple Raiders, winning last year 2-0. There was a yellow card in that game. How are you feeling coming into this matchup?
I think Adrian obviously needs to get off to a strong start. They struggled in their last 3 games, or 2 games before this, scoring. Like 2 of the last 3 games, they have 2 goals coming in their last matchup against Wilmington. Now, if the Bulldogs seems like they can get some scoring opportunities here, some chances to score, you'd see success here for the Bulldogs.
Not to mention, of course, Wilmington College, the first road game for the Bulldogs after 6 straight home. They return home right away to face off against Mount Union, and it's a matchup that I think the Bulldogs are excited for. Today is also the Sammy Strong game. It is colon cancer fundraiser, and they got to give a little speech before the game that usually lights a fire under some of the players. So Bulldogs will be wearing gray with gold jerseys, and the goalies will be wearing pink, while Mount Union wears purple kits with the goalies wearing a light blue.
Yes, Mount Union coming into this game, obviously they actually lost to Albion yesterday, 2-1. So it's they got some MIAA experience yesterday before they come in to face the Bulldogs here today.
Not to mention playing against Albion on the road, so you're taking a road trip into, Michigan, and then wonder if they just called it a 2-day trip, they're just going to stay here, or if they went home last night after that game.
Yeah, it's back-to-back road games, and if they did go home, that's a lot of traveling in a 2-day span here for the Purple Raiders. So we could also see that come into effect here. It's a long, those road trips, especially once we're getting into the flow of the season here, can start to wane on you after a little bit.
So Bulldogs started off well with a win against Hiram College, 3-1, and then Ohio Wesleyan jumped on top of them for a 1-0 victory. Manchester University was a 3-0 win. Otterbein, they won 1-0. They fell to Madonna and Wittenberg, as you had mentioned earlier. Just no offense seemed to come. And then that Wilmington game, if if you don't mind, could you give us a quick rundown for the people at home for that Mount Union start to the season?
Yeah, Mount Union, they opened up at Waynesburg here. They lost 2-1. Then they went on a little 2-game winning streak here against Chatham and Geneva. Now, their Thiel game got canceled on September 12th. Then they took Denison to a tie and Kenyon to a tie, and then eventually falling to Albion last night.
So, game is underway, and had a quick technical difficulty on myself. But Mount Union starting with possession, and now they're going to work things back over to the far side of the field.
This Mount Union team, it doesn't look like they put much offense up there. They haven't, since that September 10th game versus Geneva, they've struggled to put points on the board yesterday, falling 2-1. And then before that, they hadn't scored in 2 contests. That's a couple weeks there without a goal. That could really kind of get to the confidence there at Mount Union.
Yeah, and if you're a Raider fan, you want to see these players turn things around as they're playing in reverse still, trying to set some things up. Now they're going to push it into the middle, and the Bulldogs are going to take it away. Stolen right back by the Raiders. And a long through ball will be taken back by the Bulldogs. Hard to see some numbers from our current location, but
that was Bader with a kick there, though.
So Bader stole it away momentarily, but the Raiders turn it right back, and Bader will kick it out for a Purple Raider throw-in. And it looks like it's going to be Anya Stupica throwing it in for the Raiders. Playing the ball up the pitch. Raiders take control. It's Eddie playing it over to Klingensmith. Back to Eddie. It'll roll out, so another throw-in, this time from Klingensmith.
This Mount Union team seems to be kind of jumping on Adrian early here with a little bit of offense. Haven't seen much from the Bulldogs here.
As Anna Marie Fosman is still up front. She's played a great role so far this season, playing in 7 games with 5 goals. She has 46 shots.
Yeah, that is a absurd amount of shots to be taking only 7 games into the season. But, I mean, you need offense, and if that's what's going to take to put points up on the board for the Bulldogs, it might need to happen.
Playing things around is the Raiders. They're going to play it back over to the near side, pushing it up, and it's going to be stolen back. So ball goes out of play, and it's going to be Klingensmith with another throw-in over the head of Bader and off the foot. Bader pleading for it. I think Bulldogs are going to get a throw-in, and it's one of their first chances so far in this game.
Yeah, Bulldogs really got to start maintaining possession here as the game goes on. Seems like they're kind of sloppy, kind of going all over the place here. Just kind of slow it down a little bit and possess the soccer ball.
Yeah, and right as you were saying that, DeCunick tried to make a pass up the line to Bader. It ended up going out of play. Now Bader plays it forward for Fosman. Back and forth. And a whistle sounds. It's going to be a free kick here for the Bulldogs.
Yes, this is Adrian's first chance today to really kind of put the pressure on Mount Union. They've opened up a little bit, kind of keeping the Bulldogs in their attack or their defensive end, and hopefully we can get a little switch up here for the Bulldogs.
Great deep ball by Bergeron. Bader, one touch, second shot, and, well, the kick is good, but not in the sense that we would want it to be. That's through the uprights.
I don't mind that shot there, though. You haven't had offensive opportunities all day, trying to kind of press on Mount Union early. They kind of seem like they buckle after you get a score or two on. So I think shot doesn't hurt. Don't really know where she would have went after that if she was to calm it down. So just taking the shot, giving it a chance to go on goal.
I think the only thing maybe could have adjusted was taking that second touch and then that third touch being the shot. But I agree, taking the shot there is really the end-all, be-all. And Leanne Williams in goal for the Raiders comes in seeing 62 shots. She's made 22 saves and only allowed 4 goals.
She's Mount Union's only goalkeeper. She's the only one that has played so far this year. They've kind of held down the fort in a way. I think, obviously having 4 shutouts, she's only only seen 4 total goals in 2 games. So she's kind of solid back there for Mount Union, probably keeps them in check pretty well.
As Bader plays the ball forward for Fosman. Fosman fighting off the defender. And on the back line, gets her feet mixed up. It rolls straight out the back for a goal kick from Williams.
Yeah, we're trying to see some offense here from Adrian.
So they're going to say no goal kick, and it's going to be a free kick instead for the Raiders. Skied in the air. Off the head of Gucciardo, and now everyone's essentially playing volleyball with it. Just back and forth.
Yeah, it's kind of everywhere. Here's Mount Union's going to finally get some control up here after. Oh.
That is a rough angle there for DeCunick, and she'll push the ball up the pitch and catch her breath. Really extended to make the play. It doesn't seem like anything ill-fortuned, so she's keeping her composure as she'll fan on that.
Oh, we had body down over on the far by the 50-yard line there for Mount Union. Sprung right back up. I don't know what that was.
It looked like Cian Blake fell down just under her own accord. It has rained off and on throughout the last 36 hours or so here in Adrian, Michigan, so turf might be a little slick. As Bader plays it back. Earl up for Fosman and out and away, so it's going to be another throw-in for the Raiders. Playing it up the pitch for Hutton. Now back. A long ball is stolen back by the Bulldogs, just trying to gain territory if you're the Raiders.
Yeah, Mount Union after like a little push there from Adrian. After controlling for the first little bit of part of the game here, it seems like Mount Union's finally got it back, pouring it back into Adrian's end.
Nice little 1-2 coming away with it is Akins, and it's stolen back by the Raiders, but it'll lead to a Bulldog throw-in. Not the start you would have hoped for if you are the Bulldogs, just under 10 minutes into this first half. Bulldogs have only had one shot, and it was well over the goal.
Yeah, I think if you're Adrian, you're trying to settle it down here. You're trying to gain control, kind of let Mount Union run themselves out, let Mount Union kind of, I don't know, you want to get that ball in your possession. You want to play upfield with it. You want to get your chances to score, but I mean, Mount Union's controlling the ball for the first part of this game here.
Nice back heel roll from Bailey, taking control and pushing it up the pitch, stolen away. It's just a rough touch over there on the far side of the field. Now DeCunick pushes. Fosman has one to beat. She plays the ball long. Fosman trying to beat the defender. Goalie steps up and kicks it away. Nice heads-up play by Williams. As the ball rolls out, and it will be a throw-in for the Raiders.
That was a great defensive play there by Mount Union, being able to track Fosman, put a good through ball to herself, try to track it down. Looked like she had a little bit of the edge there, but Mount Union taking the angle at the end to deny Fosman a chance at a goal.
So this is a Bulldog team that played really well last year. They have struggled to start this season, but MIAA play could lead to another great season.
Yeah, I mean, you see that all the time. Teams, and especially in college sports, year in and year out, you lose so many people every single year just trying to find the rhythm, find that chemistry with your teammates.
Williams will come well out of the sticks to come grab the ball, and I imagine with all the Raiders pushing upfield, Williams is going to sky a kick here. And there it goes. Coming back for it. Nice little 1-2. The Raiders trying to set some things up. It's Bush playing it wide.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Bulldogs here, you're just trying to keep Mount Union to no score here. Mount Union has not won a game you're trying to put up just one goal. Mount Union has not won a game this year if they have given up a score in general. All their wins have been shutouts. If you're the Bulldogs, just getting one on the board here could really kill the momentum for Mount Union.
Bergeron tries to play it out, and I think it hit a Raider, so it's going to be a goal kick for Stanton. We mentioned the shots faced for Williams. Stanton has faced 76. She's made 38 saves and allowed only 6 goals through 6 games played. So both of these goalies have entered facing a lot of shots in the early part of this season.
Yeah, I mean, having almost a 90% save percentage on your season, that really helps that back line kind of know that, if they do make one mistake, you're there. Like, she's there to back them up.
Ball gets played back. Now pushing the pace is Eddie. Back into the middle. A screamer up the field with pace is Klingen-Smith, and the ball takes an unfriendly bounce. It'll roll out of play for a Bader throw-in. Just couldn't make a clean touch on it.
Yeah, it looks like it's slippery out there.
Yeah, we had mentioned earlier in the season with the new rugby facility over there open just slightly off campus, if once the rest of the facility gets developed and they get the stands and scoreboard put in, if the soccer team would consider moving over there because they're playing on a grass pitch then. And, of course, soccer, one of those sports where that makes all the difference.
Yeah, having a grass pitch, well-maintained grass pitch, watered, helps the ball move so much better, so much purer. Turf also, there's less risk for injury on grass. You see that all the time, that topic in all sports, whether it should be played on turf or grass. You see less injuries on grass than you do with turf.
A lot less joint injuries. I think when it comes down to why people prefer turf, it's easier to maintain, and when you have football and band and some of these more aggressive, fast-paced sports, turf is, at the end of the day, easier. But I think for a sport like soccer, rugby, of course, those are sports that really need to prioritize having that grass pitch as the ball gets played into the middle of the pitch for the Raiders, and Eddie will take control. Passes to Klingen-Smith. Bader pressuring, pushed up and out of play, untouched by the Bulldogs, so Bader will get another throw-in. Wise play there by Melanie Perney to avoid touching it as it rolled out.
Bader trying to take a couple extra steps there to give her some assistance on her throw and maybe get down the field a little farther.
Well, you can tell it's wet because that ball slipped out of the hands of Bader, and not something that usually happens, as she's one of the better players when it comes to throw-ins for this Bulldogs squad. They rely on her in that aspect quite often.
Yeah, that's a huge aspect of this game. You especially in soccer, that gives you a chance. You can have a good solid throw and a good long throw, and you can have the potential to even flip the field on them if you could.
This ball getting played back and forth in the skies by Gucciardo and DeCunic, and now it's played long for Fosman. She'll have to keep it in play. She does. She can't make a move as the ball will escape.
No, they're going to call it that it went out when she was trying to keep it on the side there, yeah.
That's an unfortunate situation, as that was the Bulldogs' best opportunity and for their most prolific offensive piece.
Yeah, if you're the Bulldogs here, you really need to get something going on your offensive end. There's really been no pressure, sustained pressure.
Has a nice through ball for Fosman, but doesn't have the legs, so it'll be a throw in here on the far side of the field. And it looks like throwing it in from that side will be Ashley Hughes.
Yes, this is a big possession here on this side of the field for Adrian, as they've struggled offensively, trying to keep this ball in the Raiders' end.
As the Bulldogs are going to get a corner, ball came off the side of the foot of a Raider defender trying to clear it. So it will be Delaney Bader on the corner, and she's been everywhere so far to start this game. So Bergeron's only goal on the season did come from a corner in the first game of the season. Bader skies one into the box, and it'll be cleared right back towards the sideline. Hughes trying to play it, almost with a high kick. But it'll be a throw-in for the Bulldogs.
Adrian obviously having another corner. That'll be their 38th corner of the year. They've obviously drawn a lot of corners. Always a huge part of soccer when you can load that box up and you can send a ball flying into the middle there. But unsuccessful that time from Bader.
And they've kept the other side of that down. They do a really good job at running back and making sure they clear the balls to the sides instead of...
Yeah, only giving up 22 corners against. Like, that's great numbers. You always want to see that, positive over your opponents, knowing that you're always taking the more corners.
As some contact draws a whistle, and I think Bader wanted it to be for the Bulldogs, but it'll go the other way. Bader trying to make a tall play unsuccessfully, as now it'll be Gucciardo. Bader with the throw in, plays it to Gucciardo, making some moves in the midfield. Now plays it back. Bergeron's pass is deflected. Takes a couple bounces. Hughes plays it forward for Fosman. It's stolen away. Skied back. Gucciardo lets it bounce a couple times. Going to take her time. Now they play it back.
Adrian finally seeming to have some control here over the ball.
As a long through ball for Fosman, and offsides is called. So it'll be another free kick for the Raiders.
Yeah, the Bulldogs obviously looking to feed Fosman. She's been their focal point on offense throughout the year. That, 3 times this game so far they've done through balls, and they've gotten close on 2 of them. Only a matter of time before you're gonna break one free.
And I think a big decoy route could be in that situation. You have Fosman break deep, but you send Bader out there with her as 2 of the better offensive skilled players for this team. As having to chase after that ball for a long time was Blake Eddy.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that the Raiders have their eye on Fosman this entire game. So if you can almost throw Fosman out there as a decoy and use Bader on that outside, kind of looking for this different look at a scoring opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Only 2 games remain on the out-of-conference schedule for this Bulldogs team, and then they'll start MIAA play as this ball is picked up on the far side of the field, trying to play it forward. Hughes taking her time, cross into Akins, and it's a unfortunate bounce. Ran up inside on the feet of Akins, so she couldn't get a clean touch. Raiders trying to swing momentum. Another long through ball, and it will go out of play. And
the Raiders trying to give themselves some space here after kind of Adrian pushing towards them more and more and more as this game has gone on, trying to get that ball down, just trying to get some space, regroup.
Just turnovers in the midfield have really been a crucial part of this game so far.
Seems like whenever the ball gets past the midfield, both teams are able to control it, but once that ball kind of gets in that middle area and doesn't get through, it's like kind of playing hockey. You're going back and forth in that little area there.
As a throw-in uncontested from Perney to Bader, didn't have a Raider in the area, and Bader's touch goes straight out of play. Now some contact will leave a free kick for the Bulldogs. That was Wiersma running into, I believe it was Freeze for the Bulldogs. Bergeron's kick, a low one, goes into the legs of Akins. Bader comes away with it, trying to split the defenders as Bader and Akins come together and take out a Raider player.
No, I think Adrian's got to look more for space right now. They're kind of going into everybody, not really taking the space that they need to.
Fosman tries to beat the defense by herself. Would like to see her maybe put the brakes on there and reset things, as they're pressuring without discipline right now.
Yeah, they're going odd man rushes, but not the other way. They're going 1-on-3, and that's never going to work if you have you got one girl here on 3. That's never going to work. And
it makes our lives a lot easier when they play on the near side. We can see the numbers way better, but if the Bulldogs can swing this back around to the wide side of the pitch, it might open things up better for them. Bader's throw into Fosman, up the line, and it skips away. It will go out the back for a goal kick.
The Bulldogs are obviously making Fosman a focal point of their offense, but Mount Union's on top of that. They have her marked. They're looking for her all over the field. Like, it's not going to be easy to get her a ball where she's going to have time and space. So they might have to look for other options as the game goes on.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some offside traps from this Mount Union defense as this ball goes out of play. Both players there, and Bulldogs get the throw in. So Bader taking her time. Has to make sure that ball is behind her head when she starts her motion of throwing. She throws it up the line to the newly entered Bulldog, as now it's back for Earl. Played over for Hughes and a little long, so Raiders will take back over. The newly entered player is Victoria Segan. She's played in all 7 games and has 1 assist so far on the season.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another key factor here for the Bulldogs. Looking over both rosters, the Bulldogs have more people that come in and out of their rotation. You see 70 minutes from most. You get 81 on a Fosman in minutes per game for the Bulldogs. But then you go into Mount Union's roster, you see a lot in the mid-80s. You see a lot. I think 89.5 is in there. You have a lot of minutes that Mount Union uses up. So kind of wearing them down throughout the game with your depth could be huge for Adrian.
Well, just to add to that, they have 9 position players and 1 goalie who haven't seen action at all this season yet. So those are all players on their official roster, haven't gotten any playing time.
Yeah, it's kind of a... Don't know why you leave people on the bench, kind of... Mount Union is a young team, though. They have a lot of freshmen and sophomores. They aren't looking at too much when it comes to the senior class and the junior class. They have 8 freshmen and 10 sophomores. That is huge. That, I look over these next couple years here, could develop into something really great for Mount Union.
Yeah, they have 5 seniors and 1 graduate student, all of which have played except for 1 senior, which that could be a nagging injury or something along those lines, extenuating circumstances, as Fosman has an opportunity. The ball skips away. Bader takes the opportunity, skips one through, and it's wide left. You can hear the sigh of relief coming from Williams as Bader squanders the opportunity.
It was a great chance there for Adrian. Really the first true shot of the game that you've been able to put on goal, and it kind of bounced around there between Fosman and Bader. Bader ended up coming up with it and just barely missing on the left side.
Yeah, and I mean, as you mentioned, just fantastic opportunity. Bader just takes care of the free ball, and it was a sliding shot. So just hard to handle if you're the Bulldogs, because you've squandered a couple opportunities that seem like they're just placed on a silver platter for you.
Yeah, you've had 2 right now that really one more step and one more kick in a different direction right now, and you're up 2-0. So it's it's frustrating, but at the same time, you got to build on that. Those are great chances that, later on in the game, you keep building on, what you're doing early in the game, that you could end up, with some great chances later on.
As Iva Bruchetta takes a hard landing there, trying to keep the ball in play for the Raiders. Now it's going to be another throw-in for the Bulldogs. Akins, as she's replaced Bader as the throw-in player right now, and they've moved Bader further up the pitch, trying to play more offensive-minded here.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over Fosman. They've read from this game's beginning. They know that Adrian's focal point is going to be looking for Fosman. So I think that putting Bader up more on the offensive side of the ball could open up more opportunities for Adrian.
As Bader was trying to chase after that ball going towards the sideline, and thankfully it is a Bulldog throw-in, so all for naught. Now played over to Bader. Getting pressured by 2 defenders. Gets it up, plays it through. Akins can't handle it, as it's some sloppy touches here from both squads. And some incidental contact will lead to a foul and a free kick. So Bulldogs have been fouling a little bit more than you like to see.
Yeah, kind of squandering their offensive possession here the last 2 or 3 minutes. You've been able to control the ball in Mount Union's area, but not really been able to capitalize or control the ball. They have the ball on that side of the field. They haven't been able to really slow it down, give themselves chances, put balls into the box. They're really just kind of throwing it around and kind of hitting and hoping right now.
So the Raiders have controlled the ball better than you might have expected coming into this game, but the Bulldogs have had the opportunities where the Raiders have not. This ball played deep. Trying to take it away. Nasty spill, and now a header. Bader gets bodied from behind, and ball gets cleared out. Now towards the sideline and out of play.
That was a great block there by number 5, Alana Earl, for Adrian there, and that kind of slap it around in the middle. Mount Union got a good little kick action on it, but unfortunately Alana Earl was there and was able to get a really nice block there for Adrian.
Now some contact over on the far side of the field. Raider player takes a tumble, but she'll stand up and make the throw-in.
That was a hard tackle by Hughes there. Caught a little too much of the leg.
Played back to the near side of the field. Akins battling for possession. Back and forth, but too much patience out of the Raiders. Bader plays it up, and the through ball gets cleared straight back as another clear opportunity for Bergeron, and it, I think, caught the head.
Jillian Wiersma for Mount Union, right off the side of her face there.
That is a unfortunate circumstance and not intended at all, but nonetheless, I'm sure she'll be feeling that one for quite some time.
I think looking at Adrian's schedule coming up here, you want some confidence going in MIAA play. If you can win here and kind of go 3-0 in these next 3 out-of-conference games, you do open back-to-back home openers in the MIAA against Kalamazoo and Alma to start the year. That could be huge if you go into those with some momentum, being at home.
Yeah, and momentum is one of the biggest things in any sport, but especially a sport like soccer where confidence can really carry you throughout a season. This throw-in is going to be touched by a Bulldog last and go out for a Mount Union throw-in. Skied up over. Mount Union's going to switch sides of the field. Going over to the near side. Playing it up. Now back. It's Bruchetta and Eddie playing back and forth. This ball gets pushed away. Now back into the middle.
Yeah, we've kind of went backwards to the beginning of the game here with Mount Union having that middle and then throwing balls in deep at Adrian's side. Again, you're hoping Adrian can flip the field one more time here and just kind of control the ball in Mount Union's half.
So far in this game, Bulldogs have been called for one penalty, or one foul, mind you, and taken 2 shots, one of which was a corner. That is all that has transpired thus far. So you haven't missed much through the first 30 minutes of play.
Yeah, not much offense here between these two teams. Just a lot of hope, a lot of chances that have gone through and have been just escaped both teams.
Not to be mistaken for the hope that will be coming into Adrian to play on October 22nd.
That's
You're
all.
Talking about the metaphorical hope.
Yeah, that hope game's always a huge game for Adrian. Obviously, one of your biggest rivals. Just hoping they come here. That's all. That's great. Hopefully, we get a nice atmosphere here. Take down Hope.
Yeah, and I believe Adrian's going to be hosting Hope for football, soccer. They'll host a game in just about every other sport as well. So it'll be a fun year for the Bulldogs as they get to host one of the better MIAA teams in just about every sport, and a team that they compete with in a lot of aspects.
Yeah, and being able to have that home field advantage in those games, it's so huge. Being, you're comfortable, you're in where you are most of the year. You just can go through your normal routine. You're not thrown off. So I think it's just a huge advantage when you have a team traveling in versus having to go and be the one traveling.
Nice jumping header there to push the ball back into Bulldog territory. Sloppy header, but a great clear. Back and forth, back and forth. Freeze battling.
Just hoping for some control here out of the Bulldogs as the game continues.
As that will go out of play, and we'll get another throw-in for the Raiders. Just a lot of sloppy play, some light touches.
I don't know whether it's the field or not, but it just seems like no one's confident in how far or where the ball is going off their foot right now. It's almost like they're playing a guessing game out there, and unfortunately, they're not guessing right.
And I'd say the real unfortunate part of it is just, for Mount Union, this makes a little bit more sense for you to be a little fatigued. You're coming off a game from yesterday that I'm sure took a lot out of you. You played against Albion on the road, 2-1 game. Assuming that they traveled both days, you're going to be mentally and physically exhausted.
Yes,
if you're the Bulldogs, you've had a week to prepare and get ready, and it's not uncommon for them to play on a wet field like this because they played their last home game, or the last home game I called, I should add, against Manchester on a downpour.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you're coming off of a 3-game skid. Like, you've lost 3 in a row. You think you take this week, and you're trying to look for that bounce back win. And yeah, coming off of 3 losses in a row, this looks just a little sloppy out of Adrian to start.
So, looks to be a corner, I believe, for the Bulldogs. Taking it will be Earl. Fosman plays in close. Now she'll jog back towards the box. Earl with the kick, on its way into the box, and a nice job attacking with the head. As Earl now plays another one into the box, and Williams does a great job at trapping that ball for the catch.
Yeah, Earl just slightly short on that corner. Wasn't really able to float it up into the box enough. Again, could be the wet field out there kind of affecting all these kicks.
Ball plays out for another throw-in for the Bulldogs, and it looks like Earl, or mind you, not Earl, Akins plays that ball up. Some contact and throw in for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think Mount Union here might be putting a little more ferocity than usual. They haven't won a game since September 10th. It's been a long time. Now they haven't lost that entire time. They have 2 ties in that span, but it can be fatiguing on a team not to see that one go in the win column.
Yeah, and looks like the Bulldogs have brought out more of an offensive attacking package here as number 11, Charlotte Pouget, the freshman, has entered the game. One of the more offensive-minded players is a long through ball, a sloppy touch, and Fosman can't steal it away from Blake, so it'll skip out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Mount Union just getting rid of the ball there, kind of wanting to set up their defense and just let Adrian really hasn't been able to control the ball here in their own field, so I think Mount Union's smart. Just get all their players back, kind of test Adrian and see if they can make something happen.
Perney for the throw-in. She'll play it back to Akins. Some sloppy touches, back to Perney. Almost a handball out of Bruchetta. And now Bruchetta takes a spill. Perney comes away with the ball cleanly. Tries to play it through, but no one home. The pass back. Bruchetta battling on the sideline, plays it off Akins, and Bruchetta is awarded with the throw-in. Lofted throw-in. Perney skies the kick. Fosman battling, but as you mentioned earlier, Michael, they are just trapping Fosman in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, they have her marked. They know that she's Adrian's focal point on offense. They're looking to go to Fosman every single time here. I think their best offense came when they had Bader up there with Fosman, trying to almost, you kind of have you have a two-headed dragon up there. You have, Fosman with Bader. Both have the ability to score. Both have the ability to put offense out for the Bulldogs. I think having just Fosman up there really kind of hurts them because Mount Union knows where you're going. They know where you're going to be. They're going to condense it on Fosman to make sure she can't move.
I think the hope is that Puget can really be the replacement for either Fosman or Bader as that attacker, but so far hasn't struck a goal yet on the season.
Only a freshman. You come in. There's a lot of change coming in your freshman year of college. Obviously, you're hoping for her to develop throughout the season into someone that can replace in a Bader or Fosman whenever they are tired or whenever they run out of gas. But you know what? She's getting her chances. Oh, right here.
As she'll play it up for Fosman. Fosman plays it off her back heel. Now back into the middle. Akins tried to play a through ball to Puget. Whistle sounds. And it's going to be a free kick, I believe, for the Raiders. I didn't see what transpired, but...
Oh, yeah, I didn't see anything either, but Puget with a nice little steal there off of the Mount Union defender and able to push the ball upfield. Kind of, again, showing some good signs here of some offensiveness for the Adrian Bulldogs.
Played into the middle. Now trying to go wide with it. Nice job cutting back inside. Now out wide. Braquetta taking it. Cross inside. And a nice header by the Bulldogs to steal away the opportunity. Puget plays it long.
It was a great header by Tegan Bergeron there to get it out of your box.
Bergeron, one of the better Bulldog defenders. It's really Bergeron, Perney, and Freese that play that back line so well. As another steal for Puget. We were just talking, mind you, about if she can add a little bit more to this Bulldogs team, what it could mean, and she's starting to have a coming out party here.
Yeah, she has some fire going on out there right now. She's moving really quick. She's everywhere. She wants to make an impact. She's a smaller player coming in only 5'2", but she's making a really big impact right now.
As the Bulldogs are going to play it to the wide side of the field. Almost out of play. Stolen away cleanly. Pushed up. Slowing things down. Now playing it long. Akins will be the first player to get there, and it'll roll into the hands of Stanton.
Stanton not having to do much work today. Bulldogs have been able to keep it out of her hands for most of the day. Unfortunately, have not been able to put it in the other goal, but we're looking hopefully for some more offense here, Adrian, soon with only 7 minutes left in the half.
Stanton with the kick. It's going to get over the head of, I believe that was Perney, and Stanton will have to scoop it. Long kick by Stanton. Takes a Bulldog bounce, and now battling for possession is the Bulldogs. Playing it over top, and Fosman can't win the race to the ball, so...
It seems like it's just one step away for the Bulldogs right now. I know you saw it earlier, Fosman having multiple chances with just about a step away from getting that clear shot. You saw it again right there, ball just out of her reach and able to be cleared by Mount Union.
Williams with a skying kick. Bulldogs will take possession. Fosman. She has great skill. She'll fight off the defender, play it back. As that's deflected out by Mount Union, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Bulldogs, and I believe that's going to be Victoria Segan making the throw-in, as we have another substitution, this time from both squads, as Anya Stupika comes in for the Raiders, and Gracie Jagazinski comes in for the Bulldogs. Fosman is coming out, and so is number 2, Riley Hutton, for the Raiders.
Yeah, I know we see It's a new offensive look here for the Bulldogs. Obviously having Fosman up there the entire part of the half, giving her a little 5-minute rest before, I'm going to guess, come right back out in half two. But maybe a little bit of mix-up here for Mount Union. Might not know what's coming. Get some offensive pressure here right before half.
Ball played to the freshly entered player and stolen away by Akins. Now playing it through. Jagosinski gets bodied, stolen back into the middle. 1-2. It's a long pass, and Akins gets shouldered off.
Yeah, that was a great play by CM Blake there from the Raiders, just putting a body on Akins, getting through, and almost creating a nice opportunity for the Raiders.
Here comes Stupika. Her pass is deflected. Akins limping a little bit.
Akins seems to be shanking up right now.
Fighting through it, and I don't see any Bulldogs going for an immediate sub, so must not be a deep concern from the coach. However, I did just see Akins indicate that she might need a breather.
Yeah, she looks like she's a little slow right now. Kind of that leg walking very gingerly back up the field right now.
Coach might have her wait until halftime with only 4 minutes remaining as
we have Gucciardo go down for the Bulldogs there again. Got up a little gingerly. She seems to be okay, but you got both players back there for Adrian walking in gingerly.
Akins is going to get a throw in now, and it's going to be Bree Akins. So can't be too shaken up as she's going to make a play for her team here, and it's a short throw in up the line. Nice play by Gucciardo, but left it a little long. It's stolen away.
Gucciardo looks to be a little shaken up as well on that right leg. She got up after taking quite a hard fall over their back at the same time that Akins did, but she seemed to get back up, still walking a little. Might have been some contact there in the middle of the field, sending the ball Mount Union's way.
It's always hard to see up here in the box some of those handballs because the official just blows the whistle and says, we're going to kick it here. He doesn't, other sports you usually get a signal like, you got the false start. You've got
hockey they have for whatever, penalty you get, roughing.
Right.
You have all your signals
even
for it.
Even baseball has signals when there's a infield fly rule.
Yeah.
But right there, we're not seeing the head official give any indicator as to why he's stopping play, which is always difficult. Of course, the line judges give us indicators when it's offsides or which direction the play needs to continue in, but that's one of the little nuances of soccer that is a little bit harder for a
fan. Yeah, if you're a fan trying to get into the...
As the Bulldogs with an opportunity and great defense boxing out, it'll go out of the back, and looks like they're going to indicate that it's a goal kick for Williams. Fortunate. No, they're going to say it's a free kick for the
I don't
Raiders.
know if I agree with that one. I know it was a battle down there, but it looks like it was Anya Stupika for Mount Union that got a little bit. Thought she got a touch there right by that line that could have indicated a corner kick, but obviously the ref didn't agree.
Gucciardo. And now fighting Puget. Steals it away, tries to play it forward, but nobody else running through as Greenbaum has come into the game. I must have missed that substitution.
The Bulldogs don't really look like they're in sync right now. You just saw that through ball being played to just a blind.
As Gucciardo just absolutely bulldozed over Anya Stupika.
They have a minute left here in the first half. If you're Adrian, you're just trying to go in 0-0. If you can pick up a long, lucky goal here at the end, you'll take it. But just try to get into the half 0-0, reset, come back out with maybe a little more offensive effort in the second half.
As the Bulldogs definitely with more of a defensive unit in the game currently, and that's shown by result. these last 5 minutes since Fosman's been off the pitch. It's been played primarily in the back from the Bulldogs 40 and back. So
yeah, it shows you kind of what impact she has on this team and kind of what other teams look at her for as well. You see a little bit more attacking now out of Mount Union. They saw Fosma come off the field. They don't really see anything in Adrian's forward group here that's really threatening to them, so they're going to kind of press all out here before half, try to sneak one in.
As the countdown ensues and the first half will end, we are sitting at a whopping 0-0 tie, and myself and Michael Schubeck are sitting here, and it's been a fun game, very back and forth, a little bit wishy-washy on a couple calls. Some could have went Bulldogs' way, some could have went Raiders' way. We've seen a lot of things go in the way of goalie's favor, so when there's a call in the offensive end for the Bulldogs, it's usually going in favor of the Raiders goalie and vice versa on the other side of the field. As we get ready to go into half, Michael, what are you thinking that both of these squads need to do coming out after conversating to change things around?
Now, I think if you're the Bulldogs, you've had a lot of offensive success this year in certain games. Obviously, last game, you kind of got a kick of 2 goals. You're looking kind of coming out of half to keep that offensive pressure on Mount Union. They kind of gained that momentum throughout, lost it just at the end, but you're trying to get that back coming out of half. And if you're Mount Union, try to play with a little more control. They seem like they're playing really defensive. They're just trying to kick the ball, get it out of their area. They're not trying to settle down to control. So if you're Mount Union, you're looking to get out, control the ball, and maybe get a couple more shots on net. Because if you look, Adrian had more chances as we got down the stretch compared to Mount Union. They only got maybe 1 shot on goal. Stanton only had to make 1 save.
Yeah, and I think going into this second half, what both these teams really want is to avoid a tie. Bulldogs haven't had a tie yet this season. Mount Union, they've had 2 of their last 3 games.
Yes, 2 of their last 3 games have been ties, and that's something if you're Mount Union you do not want to see again. You do not want to come with another tie. Kind of shows you fell short once again. You're hoping to get some momentum going.
So that'll do it for us for the half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Talk some more before the second half gets underway. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to ACTV. Myself, Sean Whitmer. Joining me in the booth is Michael Schubeck, and we'll be back right after this.
Bulldog fans, remember to follow Adrian College TV on social media. For game highlights and campus events, you can catch it all on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at AdrianCollegeTV. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our future streams live and support your Bulldogs.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Got an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of a magical time in your life. A time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and great opportunity. A time that you will always look back on.
This is the Arrington Bookstore at Adrian College, the place to get game day ready, represent your clubs and organizations, and be Bulldog proud. With a wide selection of merchandise and a smile at every visit, stop by inside the Kane Student Center to pick up your Adrian College wares and make it another great day to be a Bulldog.
I'm a special ed social worker.
And I'm a third-year public affairs major.
I'm an action filmmaker.
Jevi is like a consolidated platform where I could have focused information in a couple swipes.
You can be another small voice that adds to a beautiful space. That's what I'm here for.
Hi, I'm Aubrey Morgan, the current student government president here at Adrian College. I chose Adrian College because of the campus size. Campus feels like a fun, energetic community where everyone knows each other. If you want to see what Adrian has to offer for you, you can schedule an in-person visit at adrian.edu/campus-visit.
Adrian College is shaping the future of higher education and leading the way in innovation and excellence. Ranked first in most innovative schools and second in best value in undergraduate teaching in the Midwest, a U.S. News and World Report, Adrian College is recognized for its commitment to innovation, quality education, and affordability. Offering 71 undergraduate programs, 13 graduate programs, and a 1-to-15 faculty-to-student ratio, our students receive personalized attention and a cutting-edge education. With state-of-the-art facilities, 10 academic institutes, and 50 competitive sports teams, Adrian fosters growth both inside and outside the classroom. From small class sizes to championship-level athletics, we provide the tools and experiences you need to succeed. Join a community that prioritizes your success. Start your journey with us, where your potential is realized. Discover Adrian College.
Adrian College is a private liberal arts institution known for its diverse academic programs, strong emphasis on experiential learning, vibrant campus life, and commitment to fostering a supportive community. Want to visit Adrian College for yourself? Visit our website at adrian.edu/campusvisit.
Are you looking to become a future Bulldog and get recruited by Adrian College? Do you display characteristics of tenacity, drive, and determination? With over 50 teams on campus, there are plenty of opportunities to further both your athletic and academic career. For all recruiting inquiries, head to www.adrianbulldogs.com and click on the Recruit Me tab at the top right of your screen. Your future with the Bulldogs is closer than ever.
The diploma you will receive symbolizes your efforts and distinguishes you as a highly educated person, learned in the arts and sciences and prepared for a life of achievement and great accomplishment.
Adrian College has built something very special. You've created not just an academic environment, but a culture of physical excellence, discipline, and resilience. You've turned this college into a place where pushing the limits isn't the exception, it's the expectation.
We leave here with countless memories, loyal friendships, and moments that have shaped our character far beyond what we could have imagined when we stepped onto campus. So now, class of 2025, we've come a long way, and I know as we step into this next chapter, we'll step into a new exciting adventure. I know we will do so in faith, in confidence, and in gratitude. Thank you guys, and congratulations, Adrian College, class of 2025.
before the achievements, before the celebrations, there's the work. Early mornings, late nights. Every challenge faced, every extra effort made.
Every victory starts with preparation.
We value leadership, resilience, and innovation. No victory without work. Because success isn't given, it's earned. Welcome to Adrian College.
Bulldog fans, remember to follow Adrian College TV on social media. For game highlights and campus events, you can catch it all on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at AdrianCollegeTV. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our future streams live and support your Bulldogs.
The Adrian College Media Production House provides opportunities for students to learn and grow live on the airwaves, just like Matt Kibbe.
I've gotten a chance to create a relationship with coaches and teams and learn more from people instead of trying to teach myself something. Gotten an opportunity to expand my knowledge of sports, hone in on my skills as a broadcaster, learn about equipment in different ways. You get more of a connection with professors as well.
Providing opportunities, growing leadership. The Adrian College Media Production House. Thanks for tuning in.
You stand today, students, on the threshold of a magical time in your life. A time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and great opportunity. A time that you will always look back on.
Hello and welcome back inside Docking Family Stadium on the campus of Adrian College. My name is Sean Wimmer. Joining me in the booth is Michael Schubeck, and we get ready for the second half of play. We enter the same way we entered the first half of play. We're still sitting at 0-0. Been a little bit sloppy from both sides, but I think the weather might have had a part in that. Imagine this turf's still wet. Back when I played football here, this turf holds water really well, and not necessarily what you want when you're trying to commence a soccer game, but it was a very fun first half. You'll see some of the Bulldogs players down there wearing blue ribbon in their hair. That is because this is the Sammy Strong game. It is a colon cancer fundraiser game with some of the student body walking around selling some wristbands. And it has been a fun game despite some of the challenges from both squads.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Adrian here, you're 3 steps away from having 3 goals in the back of the net. You had Bader that missed by a foot on the left side, and you had Fosner that missed, not missed, but good angles by Mount Union defenders that really she's 1 step away from breaking in 2 goals there for Adrian. I think Mount Union, they're staying in it. They're being competitive. They've kind of almost like they have Adrian in a stronghold right now. They haven't been able. Adrian seems to be able to get past that midfield line, but then once they get past that midfield line, it's kind of up in the air where Mount Union kind of traps and kind of makes it hard for Adrian to move.
Yeah, and Mount Union did a really good job with their scouting report. They came into this game, they knew who the Bulldogs players were that they wanted to get involved offensively. Those primarily being Bader and Fosman, the Bulldogs want to get them involved attacking near the goal or making plays for their teammates to do the same. What that does when you're so consistently doing that, it leads to a situation like this where you can have so many turnovers, missed opportunities, because it's so consistent, but it only takes one opportunity for the Bulldogs to strike and take the lead.
Yeah, and I'm sure like Fosner and Bader in this half, they're going to get their chances again, and I think it's just a matter of time before either one of them strikes, because it's both of them are great facilitators of the soccer ball. Bader obviously with 4 assists on the year, Fosner with 5 goals. So I think that those two can really put together a half of soccer here for the Bulldogs and maybe punch one in the back of the net.
So we enter the second half, getting ready for things to go here. I think one of the biggest things is just shots on goal.
Yeah.
Neither goalie has had to make a play so far. And for the Bulldogs, it's been because their defense has done a great job at trapping things, taking the ball away, and creating opportunities for those long through passes. It's just some of these long through passes are going a little bit further than you'd want, leading to so many turnovers.
Yeah, I think some of that does have to do with the wet turf. You know, that wet turf's going to skid a little more. It's going to kind of, it's turf, so it's not real grass. You're not getting that grab that a real grass does. It's going to skid a tad more, and you kind of see that with the water as well, kind of how it's playing a factor in the stadium right now.
With the humidity as well in southern Michigan, it's not going to get any better. Of course, it hasn't rained during the game, but it did rain hard last night. Throughout the day today, it had rained off and on a little bit. And
yeah, there's been a lot of water that's come through Adrian in the past 30, 36 hours here. So it's definitely playing effect. We saw it earlier in the game with Bader when she's out with a throw-in ball. That ball obviously very wet from all the moisture that's on the field and slipped just out of her hands a little bit, but it's rain. Now we start the second half here. It's going to be hopefully just as entertaining as the first half.
This ball played up. Fosman does a good job battling with the defender, and she's battled off, and it's foul-worthy contact, but no whistle blown.
That was a lot of contact by Blake for the Raiders there. Just kind of put not much effort in the ball there and a lot of body on Fosner.
Akins trying to weave through the defense as we brighten up the camera here for everyone at home. Now played through, and it'll skip away. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our crew working today, as of course ACTV, great opportunity for students on campus as it's fully student-ran broadcast. We do have one member of our staff as a full-time employee of the college, that being Josiah Durrell, our streaming coordinator. But the staff for today's game is Remington Gilniak on the director chair, Lauren Barkowitz. The last name is butchered, and I'm going to get demolished for that one. But she is running our camera for today. Myself and Michael Schubik are on the call with Anna Kier running around taking some B-roll footage for our social media later on. And then we have Dakota Schneider, who's helping us on the back end, making sure if anything goes wrong, he can help us fix it.
Yeah, shout out to all of them. And now we see Adrian now controlling the ball here to start the second half. No, Mount Union has had a couple touches, but they're kicks. They're just trying to get the ball out of their own area. Adrian's really been able to settle it down to start this second half and control the ball in Mount Union's area, and hopefully that eventually leads into a couple chances for them.
And that's the tough part about soccer, is that it's two halves. There is no other breaks. You can pull players off to the sideline and give them the message, but once they get out there, they might forget. So when you go to half, you have to make sure your message is clear as to what you need to do to correct things on the field.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have sports like hockey, you have shifts. You come in, you come out, and you can take bits of advice from the coaches. Here, right? You're out there. You're not on your own. You have your whole team with you, but in a certain sense of trying to remember what the coaches said, you're relying on a lot of yourself and obviously your teammates around you. But it is hard if that coach doesn't convey the message great enough at half, then you could lose some of that when you come out to play the second half.
As This ball played up the sideline, and unable to catch up to it is number 10 in purple. That's Ella Dinwiddie. Now Hughes.
Yeah, Mount Union has not had much control of the ball here in the second half. Adrian's really dominated for the first 6 or 7 minutes here.
Now Hughes will play it back. Freeze over to Bergeron. Long ball is headed out of play. It'll be a throw-in, but a lot of territory gained there for the Bulldogs. It's going to be Hughes throwing this in off the deck and off the head of Gucciardo, and that leads to a throw-in the other way. DeCunick kicks it up the pitch. Back and forth, back and forth. As the ball skips out of play, Bader will now throw it in.
Yeah, look, they're trying to flip the field back over there, focalize their offense around that Bader-Fosner duo.
As Bader with the 1-2, now trying to make a play up the side. The through ball stolen away, going back the other direction.
That was a great opportunity there. Bader obviously working through two Raider defenders there, able to try to slip a through pass and just got caught up.
Played forward, stolen away. Bader with a great job at getting physical, causing another opportunity for the Bulldogs, but the pass going back the other direction. Mount Union with a steal.
It was a great grab by Cyan Blake there for the Raiders. Obviously a through ball that, again, goes a little bit to the right, and Fosner probably has a good run at it to have a good opportunity to score.
Kicked over. Akins plays it back for Bader. Now Bader trying to create for the offense. Tries to play it wide, and it'll roll away from everyone involved, so we will have another throw-in.
Adrian looks they look more settled here in the second half. The first half was obviously you're trying to get with the conditions of the day. You're trying to understand where everyone's body's at for the day. I think now that you're in the second half, you know where everyone's at. You're in a little more of a flow, and Adrian seems to be in that flow right now, controlling the ball way more and kind of slowing it down compared to the first half.
As some difficult touches. Now the ball skips over. It's kicked high into the air. Gucciardo trying to play it for her teammates. And it gets played back for Freeze. Trying the through ball, stolen away. Going back the other direction is Hutton. Has all the time in the world. She plays it off to Dinwiddie. The cross, but ball rolled out of play just before, so Hughes will get a throw in.
Yeah, ball just slipped out for Ella Dinwiddie there on the run there. But Mount Union seeming to finally get some movement towards Adrian's goal, but Adrian, again, that back line just stays strong.
Now the Raiders try to play it up the sideline, and Hutton can't get a boot on it, so it'll skip out of play. Hughes with the throw-in.
That was a big bounce. Hard grab there for Hutton. Unfortunate for the Raiders, but hopefully the Bulldogs can take advantage and come back up the field.
It's one of those bounces where you have to think quick on your feet and switch to a header instead of trying to get your foot to it.
Yeah, and that also came at a weird length. It was like, could she have gotten her head all the way down there to get something on that ball, but unfortunately just bounced out of play.
Now playing it back, trying to take their time with it, is the Raiders. They'll play it into the middle.
Coming back to it, I don't remember if we touched on it earlier in the game. Mount Union has not won on the road this year. With 2 losses and a tie, they have they've struggled on the road this year. They haven't been.
As that was a nice through ball, just had a little bit too much heat on it, so it skips out of the back of the field of play, so it's going to be a goal kick for Caitlin Stanton, the senior goalie out of Portland, Michigan.
Yeah, she's done a great job to start the year for the Bulldogs. Really been great to be paired with that back line as well, having 2 levels kind of before that ball even has a chance going in the net.
Now the ball will skip out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Hutton. Nice kick. Freeze plays it back.
We got a push here.
So another throw-in opportunity. Hughes plays it into a host of defenders. Stolen away for a moment. Now Hughes with a nice play. 1-2, right back over. So Earl plays it up. Fosman, a little bit of a rough touch on the first attempt. Now playing up the sideline. Ball gets played back and out of play.
That was a great play by Ashley Hughes there, putting it through the legs of the Raider defender and being able to sneak by and give Adrian a little momentum going into their zone.
Going to play it wide. Bader hustling to get a steal. Plays it back for Stanton. Over. Bader keeps it from going out of play. It's going to be Raider ball. Nice one-touch pass. An opportunity for the Purple Raiders. And the shot, another save by Stanton. Phenomenal job in between the sticks. She was down after the previous save and came back up for another opportunity. Now the Bulldogs with a chance to change momentum and swing things the other way.
A lot of contact right there. No call, though, by the referee.
As some more contact, and that time it's with the ball. So
the difference there, Ashley Hughes caught the ball. There was very little ball on Gucciardo there when she was taken down.
Hughes with the throw-in.
As you see, Mount Union's keeping two defenders with eyes on Fosman right now.
That's the wisest thing to do, as the Bulldogs have tried to play some of those long through balls today, and it only takes one to be the difference maker.
Yeah,
Earl.
I mean, Fosman's been so spectacular this season that just one of them, she'll eventually break free.
Fosman tries to play a pass through the middle. It's stolen away. Now back out wide for Hutton. Hutton screams down the outside. Her pass stolen momentarily. Now a kick from Long. It'll be kicked out, and unfortunate clearing will lead to a corner for the Raiders.
This can be the Raiders' first corner of the game. A little more energy out of them right now. They came out of half a little dead. Didn't see much movement down the field from them, and now seems like they're putting some pressure on the Bulldogs here.
As Pouget will enter the game for Aikens. Now it's played into the box, off the corner, right back outside. Chance to cross it in. And it's a shot attempt. It will skip wide. Unsuccessful from Madeline Boulos.
Yeah, that's really the first time that we've seen Mount Union put some good pressure and get a real chance against Stanton, other than a few moments ago, with that almost double shot that Stanton came up big on. But it seems like the Raiders are kind of getting into a groove here in the last couple minutes, but hopefully Adrian can get a little flip around here and go back and push the other way.
DeCunic gives it off. Perney plays it up deep for Fosman. Plays it wide. Bader screaming down the side of the field. Bader trying to beat the one defender in her hip pocket. And Bader takes a spill. It'll be a goal kick for the Raiders.
Bader there with another great opportunity. I saw a lot of body contact there. Unfortunately, it seems like that ball is going to roll out of bounds, and she wasn't able to corral it enough, keep it control to get a shot, and break away enough.
Williams. The goal kick. Low line drive. Now it's kicked up with some height. Back and forth. Pouget plays it forward. Now fighting for possession. Bulldogs will sky one long, and it's taken away for a moment, but they will get possession right back as Freeze will slow things down.
I think we have to give some credit here to Puget. Since she's kind of entered the game, even the first half and the second half here, she's been really great at kind of sneaking up, taking some balls away from some of the forwards on midfielders on Mount Union.
As the fans are starting to get involved in this game, Puget plays it softly to the sideline. Bader has the pace to track it down. Now playing it long. Trying to get on her horse and chase after it is Fosman, and she'll sky one up and over. A little bit longer than you would have liked if you're Anna Marie Fosman, but she felt like time was closing out on her.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity there by Fosman. She's going to take a nice little touch, beat the defender around, and she's just going to send it slightly high over. It was a great opportunity. Her first really, really good shot of the day, and she gave it a really good effort.
Yeah, she had great wheels on that, but you wonder if there was a pass backside to go back into the middle for a better look almost, maybe even a 1-2, put the brakes on, go back in the middle, go right back outside for a potentially better look. That was a great opportunity for the Bulldogs, just getting nitpicky to think of what could have been done better.
You can get nitpicky there, but I mean, she's obviously been Adrian's #1 scorer this year. You're looking at she got her break. That's really, I mean, she's got a really good shot. She's got a strong leg on her. She's going to take that shot. That's outside that box there. It looked like Mount Union had a couple defenders in the back, or at least one covering that backside. So I don't know if that was the play to send that back, but again, like you said, you can always get a little nitpicky and maybe look at the options.
Ball tried to play into the middle, stolen away by the Bulldogs. Bergeron plays it up the pitch. Now played over. DeCunic will let it go. Freeze. Nice move, putting the brakes on, trying to beat the defender. Stolen away.
That was some great patience there by Freeze, not being rushed by the Raiders coming up to attack her. She took her time, was able to kind of assess the field. Unfortunately, just lost a little bit at the end there, but
played long. Opportunity here for the Raiders, battling off Freeze. Now played right in front. Shot and scores! The Raiders strike first on the inside pass. Hutton set it up perfectly.
Yeah, that's a great 1-2 play there by the Raiders, kind of driving into that middle area, passing it, letting a little 1-2 punch there.
I couldn't catch the number, but I believe it might have been Ella Dinwiddie screaming into the middle.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, really good play by Hutton on the outside to make that nice little sneaky pass inside to, you were right, Ella Dinwiddie, and that's a great play right there. Really kind of drawing attention to herself, Hutton did, and then sends it right back into the middle for Dinwiddie to send it home.
Well, someone had to strike first, and it ended up being the Raiders. Now we'll see if the Bulldogs can recover. Much less opportunities for the Raiders in this game, but they've done what matters most and capitalized on the one that's most important, as a yellow card comes out after the excessive physicality out of, I believe, Eleanor Bush.
Yeah, you don't see many cards in games that Adrian plays in. They're very, very few on the penalties and the cards that are given out.
Yeah, 5 so far this year. 3 so far in games that the Purple Raiders have played. 2 yellows for the Raiders this season, 1 yellow for their opponents.
The Raiders have drew a red this year, I believe.
As a shot opportunity, and undercut was Bader by Williams. Fans want a whistle. Fans want a penalty kick, but Bader will have to regather herself, and they're actually going to say Bader was at fault, as it's not going to be a goal kick. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, it seems like the referees are allowing a lot of physicality out here today. They're got a whistle here. On the far side, we have 2 referees conferring.
I believe they are discussing whether or not the clock is correct. So I believe the clock should have kept running as there is no timeouts for injuries or anything of that nature. We haven't even had an injury. It's just been playing through.
You do get stoppages certain points for like injuries or stuff like that because there's no extra time in women's college soccer and college soccer in general. You stop the clock, they run 90 minutes straight. There's no extra time, which is kind of nice. You kind of get your stoppages and you don't have to deal with the 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes that you'll get at the end of the game of extra time.
As they play it back up the middle. Fosman has a breakaway opportunity, but the ball's left a little long. Williams will scoop it cleanly off the deck.
Yeah, it's a great play by Williams there to come out of her box and grab the ball and kind of shut down an Adrian chance there.
Now trying to play things up. Plays it up the middle. Chance for the Bulldogs to steal it away. Ball played long. Nice play by Perney to kick it out. And that ball will take a Raiders bounce, but end up a throw-in nonetheless.
I think that's a really, really good part of Adrian's women's soccer team that they have going right now is that back line. That back line's really patient. They are really calculated in the way that they move back there, and they move almost as a unit. And they, as they have shown this year, they don't give up many corners. They make sure that ball is sent out of harm's way. And it's a very solid back line for Adrian.
While in their back line, they have a graduate student in Elise Fries. They have, of course, Melanie Perney, who's a junior. Tegan Bergeron's a senior. They have a lot of seniority in that back line. They mix in some freshmen and sophomores here and there, but you have DeCunick, who will play on the back line on occasions. Bader's played on the back line some this year.
Yeah, I think that having that experience back there is so useful to these a team like this that, you're trying to build off of your momentum from last year and have another successful season. I think having a senior back line along with a senior goalkeeper, that's huge. She obviously has seen it all in her 4 years here and kind of being able to read the field, talk to her other senior backline members that are able to kind of walk them through what's going on in front of them and can really assist in the game.
As the Raiders with an opportunity, pushing the ball up the pitch, running into cross territory, and it's going to be kicked out by Fries for another corner kick, the second on the day for the Raiders.
Yeah, Mount Union's second quarter kick. They try to throw one in low there and almost get a one-time shot. Kind of failed to work for them. We'll see what they go with here. They'll try to float one more into the box this time.
This ball skies in the air. It's a high header that'll bounce out of play.
That was a good ball that was floated in there from Mount Union. Unfortunately, the header's going to sail a little bit over the crossbar for him, but that's a good look. That's what you'd like to see out of a ball from your player that's going to be taking the corner.
So a substitution here as Earl will come off, and entering the field of play is freshman Victoria Segan out of Troy, Michigan. One of those freshmen we had mentioned that get worked in on occasion in that back line.
Yeah, that's useful too. Also, if you go back to their seniority, you have that seniority on that back line that when you mix in, you throw in a freshman that they're able to show her the ropes, show her how kind of how to play, how to be stable in that back line like they've been all year.
Nice play made there on the outside, and now Bader gets ran into by an
assistant back there. It seems like
somebody who is handling the ball duties on today's game.
Looks like we had a sub here for Mount Union. That would be number 15, Klingen Smith, subbing out for Molly Rutherford. Little head
Great
bobble
job
there.
there.
It's a little head bobble on Tegan Bergeron there. Kind of set around there, and Mount Union ended up taking the ball away, but good recovery.
Yeah, and then Perney took 2 shots there, just throwing her body in front of it to try to steal it back, as now this ball pushed back up the field. The Raiders still in control.
Yeah, we see Puget, who puts in a lot of effort, is really aggressive when that ball comes her way in the midfield.
That's going to be an unfortunate throw-in spot, as it looks like it's going to go Bulldogs' way, but almost in the corner.
Well, I like to say, Sean, it took until 5:30 today to get some sunshine out here in Adrian, Michigan. Unfortunately, it's right into our eyes.
Yeah, and right into the camera as well. We're trying to have that a little bit darker so that it's not blinding the people at home and they can actually see what's happening.
Turned out to be a nice day, though. I was a little worried earlier, kind of waking up, getting that on and off rain. It was kind of gloomy, but, as the day went on, they stayed kind of warm, stayed nice, a little damp, but, with what it could have been with a lot of rain at game time, and we got a little lucky here.
Yeah, I was driving over as there was a little bit of rain, and I was thinking, oh, well, we're going to have another rainy game, and turned out to be just fine, as now chasing after the ball, going towards the sideline is Jagosinski. It'll be cleared out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in opportunity for Eleanor Bush.
Yeah,
throws it behind her teammate, but Raiders still keep possession for a moment, and now taken right back. Kicked out of play off the legs of Victoria Segan.
Yeah, if you're Adrian here, you're really just trying to get control of the ball back. You controlled the first few minutes of this half, and then since then, Mount Union's really kind of taken over. They've had the ball in the Adrian half for, the last, almost 5 minutes, 6 minutes now. So you're looking at Adrian really trying to get that ball, get that control back, and kind of recover after letting up a goal.
A corner opportunity here for the Raiders. 21.5 left in the game. Ball skied in the air, and a nice header by, I believe that was Gucciardo. Now Bader putting the pressure on, trying to steal the ball away. Good job passing it around.
It's a good block by Bader there.
Bergeron kicking it long, trying to get Fosman involved. It's been a while since we've called her name, and now a long kick from Perney. Takes a bounce off a Raider player. Fighting for possession is Puget.
She was looking for Jagosinski on that long ball there. Fosman will obviously go take her spot back. They got to start. They got to start feeding balls up into that long middle range here. Try to get some offense going for the Bulldogs.
Nice move by Jagosinski, but the ball will roll out for another throw-in for the Raiders. Now played into the middle. Bergeron trying to play it up the pitch. Good job trapping by the Raiders. Takes a bounce. And a slide tackle with a Raider taking the tumble, no whistle.
Yeah, we're looking at refs are really calling a physical game here today. They're letting a lot of stuff go past them. They're not really worried about a little contact today, as we've seen a lot of calls here that really there's been a lot of non-ball contact here in this game that haven't been called.
Playing it back towards the middle. Now fighting for contact a little bit. Playing it up the pitch. It's Bulos trying to play it back into the middle, and it will be scooped up by Stanton. Under 20 minutes left in the game, and as of right now, the Raiders would be celebrating, I believe, their first road win.
It would be their first road win of the year, Sean. It's, 0-2-1 on the road, falling yesterday to Albion. You're looking at a bounce back game here. Mount Union again hasn't won since September 10th. It's been a long struggle these past 12 days, playing 4 games. This is their 5th game in 12 days, hoping to finally secure that first win since September 10th.
As Bergeron will boot this ball up the pitch. Fosman had half a step, had to slow down And the ball gets stolen away, now played out for a throw-in. Fosman trying to get there so that the ball could be thrown in quickly. And
Adrian flipping the field here, though, was nice, getting that ball back down in Mount Union territory after the Purple Raiders have really controlled the ball for these last few minutes here.
So a substitution by the Bulldogs as looks like DeCunick will come out. Trying to get some more pace and offensive weapons on the pitch. DeCunick, more of a defensive-minded player, defensive midfielder, defender, that sort of player. Now, as the Bulldogs will take control, Bader keeps getting in an offside trap up the pitch. Segan in the middle. Plays it.
Segan just Bader had her hand up. Bader had wide open for a run out there. Now, I don't know if it was an offsides trap or not, but Bader was wide open on that right side there. Could have been a good through ball possibly for the Bulldogs.
Well, that's a freshman not having as much experience and potentially missing, but they play it through the middle so often when they get into that attacking zone that it's just a common thought into the brain of just let's keep playing it through the middle. Segan. As time is starting to run here, Pouget comes away but leaves the ball long and it'll go out of play. Just a little bit of an aggressive touch out of Pouget there.
I do think if you look at the Bulldogs today, though, and you look at the way Pouget's played, she's kind of looking like she's gaining more and more confidence as the year goes on. Being a freshman, thrown into a role that, you know, you're kind of you're playing a lot of minutes, you're seeing a lot of game time. I think, you know, it's once you get into that rhythm and flow, it's going to be great for Pouget and for this team once she gets 100% confident, 100% comfortable.
As Jagazinski and Fosman were having a 1-2 working well, but it got stolen away. Now some contact, and the Raiders are going to take possession. Played back towards the middle. Now playing it all the way back, and Bader is going to sprint after this ball for the Bulldogs. It's going to be played up by the Raiders. Back up to that far sideline.
Yeah, Bader with a nice track back, too, to take that ball. I mean, she's really been everywhere here lately for the Bulldogs.
Played it into the middle. Running it straight up. Beat the goalie, but a lot of contact. Pouget was looking for her first goal as a collegiate athlete.
Pouget with a great opportunity there that was just shut down by Cyan Blake from Mount Union. It was a great play by her. Goalie came out, was out of position. Pouget had a great opportunity to sneak one by for the Bulldogs and just wasn't able to cash in due to Cyan Blake.
That's the difficulty when your goalie comes out of the box so aggressively, and your goalie's always playing with such aggression, but this will be an opportunity for a throw-in for the Raiders.
There's no issue if your goalie's going to play super aggressive as long as your back line knows that. If your back line knows that goalie's going to come up, which I think they do. I mean, that play right there by Blake really shows that they knew that they know their goalie's going to come up there and they're willing to defend back and make sure that everything's covered.
As the Raiders are just doing everything they can to keep possession of the ball, try to eat away at some of this clock and walk out of here victorious.
Yeah, they have 15, just under 15 minutes left here. If you're the Raiders, you're just trying to kill as much time as possible, not give the Bulldogs anything in the middle of the field, which is where they love to go to, and kind of close this one out to get your first road win of the year.
Stanton will roll this ball to Freeze. Played up. Jagazinski makes a nice move around the defender, but the ball will roll out of play. And we're starting to reach the territory where the Bulldogs might just be looking to scratch out a draw here. Under 15 minutes to go. Down by 1. Bergeron plays it back for Stanton.
Yeah, I think if you get to that 6 or 7 minute range in this game, that's when you decide, we'll take a draw. We'll take a draw. I think until that range of time, you're looking at, we're just going to try to win this game as much as possible, and then until you get to that minute mark there within single digits.
This ball skied, and some late contact after the kick will lead to a free kick for the Bulldogs. And taking it will be Tegan Bergeron.
Yeah, Mount Union does love their contact. You've seen it throughout a lot today where they've kind of taken a lot of the body of Adrian, kind of sending some physicality their way.
Right back to Bergeron, now Freeze. Plays a long ball. Nice job tracking it by the Raiders.
See the Bulldogs now, too. They're throwing on those offensive pushes where they're trying to throw a deep ball in there. They have 3 or 4 up there now instead of their 1. And it used to be just Fosman that would sit up there. Now they have Bader with her, and they have Bush on. Or sorry, wrong team. They have Jagozinski on the other side as well up there with her.
Bader tries to play it in for Earl, and it's going to be stolen away. A little bit of a hard touch. Now Bader plays it long, and a little too long. It will trickle out of play for a...
Looked like she just gave it a little too much on her touch there. Just trying to give it a one touch, and then she was going to play it through to Fosman, but a little too much on the touch there and unable to control it.
So the Bulldogs get awarded the throw-in. Ball's played long and more contact, and once again, it's going to be a Bulldog throw-in. You can see Bader, or mind you, that's not Bader. That is...
I believe that's Alana Earl. That's right where the throw-in is.
Yeah, it's always confusing because I usually identify who Bader is based on the fact that she's usually one of the only players wearing green cleats, and caught me off guard when I seen 2 sets of green cleats down there. I had to.
I can't tell that's a 5 or a 2 from out here though. That's
as it's a breakaway opportunity for the Raiders. The shot is on goal, and it's in. The Raiders score again, and it's a phenomenal job. So the Mount Union Purple Raiders, with a breakaway chance, score their second.
Yeah, it's great breakaway speed there by what looks to be Riley Hutton there, and just able to sneak it past Stanton at the end there to get secure Mount. That might be the dagger for Mount Union. That's 11 minutes left here. It's going to take a lot for the Bulldogs to come back and score 2.
This would be the first win in history for Mount Union playing against the Bulldogs. As ball played deep, Freeze battling into the corner.
I really think the story of the second half has been speed. I think Mount Union's come out here with a lot more speed than the Bulldogs. They put a lot more pressure on them. You know, Adrian came out with a really good push to start the half, and then Mount Union kind of kept overtaking, taking what they could have and defended pretty well, and then they were able to sneak a couple past Stanton there at the end.
Well, to touch on what we had said earlier, of course, you expect fatigue out of some of these Mount Union athletes, but at the end of the day, when you're playing as much as they have to have the stamina to keep the legs going, and that can lead to what we've seen here in the second half.
You almost saw more of they come out and you're commenting on that fatigue after playing yesterday, and they're playing so much. They came out in the second half looking way faster than they did in the first half. Like they had another bolt of energy that they were able to add to their team at halftime, and really able to come out with more speed. They just look more energetic than the Bulldogs right now, who look just a little slow on their feet.
Well, not only that, when you take into account that it's been 8 days since the Bulldogs' last game, that can play a big factor as Earl steals it away, tries to play it up the field, and Fosman gets caught offside.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you have 8 days to play a game. You get it's almost the opposite effect than what we're talking about, where Mount Union's playing, they're in a rhythm, they're going. Yes, they might have fallen to Albion yesterday, but it was a close game. That's 2-1. You come into this game, you're trying to avenge yourself. You're not trying to go on this road trip and go 0-2. You're going to come out with more speed, whereas the Bulldogs are sitting here trying to almost figure out their rite of passage. They're 0-3 their last 3. Kind of sitting at home here as we have someone go down.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate situation. We will step aside momentarily as the player gets treated to, and when we come back, you'll see the finish of this game, and I closing statement from us up here in the booth. Don't go anywhere. You're watching ACTV. And welcome back, as looked to be just some simple cramping, so we're going to move on and get things back underway here. I believe it's going to be Purple Raider ball on about the 22, so, or mind you, the 18, using the football markers. It's about 28 yards away from the goal, as the end zone is another 10 yards increment.
Yeah, Mount Union with a nice opportunity here to play a ball into the middle of the box here, get another chance to score, make it 3 before the end of the game here.
It's interesting because it's not a set piece due to the injury, so Bader is given an opportunity to chase after as soon as the ball is dropped, as now the kick goes wide.
Yeah, that shot taken by Rachel Washburn for Mount Union there was just a little too much curl to the left there. Wasn't able to sneak it on net and just left. We'll have Stanton here take another goal kick, who she's been peppered with 2 alone shots here in the second half. They really haven't had a chance for her to make a save. It's been obviously the breakaway by Hutton, and then Hutton who fed Dinwiddie earlier in the half for a tap-in goal. She really hasn't had any chance on both their goals for Mount Union.
As this ball gets kicked long and stolen away by Hughes. Makes a nice play to beat one defender, now trying to play it long, and it will skip out of play. So another Purple Raider throw in here, and just under 9 to go. It's a 2-0 score. Purple Raiders on top so far. As this ball is played up, now battling for possession, playing it back. Raiders with no urgency, and they don't really need any. Bulldogs, on the other hand, need to be as urgent as possible.
Yeah, Bulldogs really need to get going here. They need some speed upfield, and they need some balls to be thrown out of their half and get into Purple Raider territory right now. They are down 2 with only 8 minutes to play. That's a lot to crawl back from in soccer.
And a quick correction from earlier, the second set of green cleats on the pitch for the Bulldogs is Isabel Malcolm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure earlier if that was a 2 or a 5. It's pretty hard to see from back here, but you're right. That is a 2.
So the freshman has been making some impact plays for the Bulldogs. Freshman midfielder out of Royal Oak, Michigan. Ball played up. Fosman with 1 touch off of Purple Raider, and now taken away. Raiders playing patient, trying to play it wide. Malcolm tries to make a play on it, and it will skip out.
Yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to catch the Purple Raider leg there on the way out, so it will be their throw-in, but it looks like Adrian's going to get the ball right back.
And they'll give it right back to the Raiders, as fighting for possession been the story of the game. Bulldogs trying to move quick as Segan plays it to Hughes, back to Segan. Skied in the air, Fosman dives in, kicked straight up, Earl plays it 1-2, now back. Fosman tries to kick it over to Hughes. Earl dives in to steal it away. Now right back, up the sideline. Hughes putting pressure on the Raiders' offensive player in Bruchetta. Playing it back and forth, and now a screamer up the pitch. Gave the back to it was Riley Hutton. She'll play it into the middle. Raiders.
Yeah, finally saw some urgency there from the Bulldogs after a long time here that they were the Purple Raiders were controlling in their end.
As Hughes tries to play a through ball that gets deflected, or no, they're going to say went straight out of play, so it will be a throw-in for the Raiders.
I mean, yeah, if you're Mount Union here, you're really not looking to do anything special. You only have 6.5 minutes left on the clock. You're just trying to get the ball away from your net, away from your end, and just kind of control this game for 6.5 minutes and take it home.
And what could be a very big win for Ashley Freed, the head coach over at Mount Union, enters her 3rd season this year, and she was an assistant coach there for 2 or 3 years prior to taking the head coaching job. Now she has a chance to get her first road win of the season and the first victory against the Bulldogs in this program's history.
Yeah, in her career as well. I mean, she's coming off of 1 loss on the road, and they're perfectly 500. They are 2-2-2, so I think a win like this against after not winning in a couple weeks is really huge for your program. They've shown that they can put up 2 goals. It's been a pretty good performance here, mainly in the second half for Mount Union. I think the first half they were a little dead leg, a little slow feet, but the second half they've really shown that they're able to come out and compete.
Yeah, and every win this season for Mount Union has been 2-0, and even without the whistle, it would have stayed 2-0 there as that ball was off the crossbar.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it earlier. When Mount Union lets up a goal, they don't win. They've let up on the 2 games they've let up a goal. They are 0-2. And so I think they've been able to keep a clean sheet tonight. They've been able to keep Adrian from really getting other than a couple steps there. They've really held a solid defensive game. That's the key to their success. I mean, they really haven't.
As it's going to be a penalty kick here. First one for a Bulldogs matchup thus far. Runs up, takes the shot, and a great save by Stanton. Win or lose, that'll light a fire under your team if you're the Bulldogs.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again. That's a great play by Stanton there. She's going to take a really good read. She's going to make the dive to her right. That's a great save off of Rachel Washburn for Mount Union, who just couldn't sneak it past her.
Now playing in the box.
But like you said, win or lose, it's going to light a fire as Adrian comes right down. They look like they want to get at least 1 or 2 for their goaltender here to finish.
That ball skips out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Segan. Segan plays it into the middle to Kunick. Trying to steal it back. Washburn. Up the pitch to Blake. Now playing it long. Raiders have a chance and a step, but the ball takes an unfriendly bounce. And the Bulldogs will steal it away. Bergeron plays it up the pitch. Raiders right back.
Yeah, great clear there by Bergeron. Unfortunately, just went right to a Mount Union midfielder, and she's able to take and put more pressure back on Adrian. Only 4 minutes left here. If you're the Bulldogs, you're just trying to scrape some momentum in for the next one. You're trying to get a goal to finish here maybe and kind of build your way through the last 2 games until conference play.
So Stanton with a, I believe, 3rd or 4th goal kick thus far. She's done really well at putting the ball in the air and going long with it as she'll send a low line drive. It's going to take a couple hops and go out of play, so Raiders will get a throw in.
Yeah, Adrian with that quick flash of momentum, but it's going to go right back to Mount Union, who's really controlled this entire second half.
It's interesting to note as well, that save on the penalty kick really lit a fire, and you can see it. Like, the Bulldogs are playing a completely different brand. They just seemed a little lethargic there in the second half, and after that save, it swung momentum back in their favor. It's just the Raiders haven't come down from the 2 goals that they've scored.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's a little too late for the Bulldogs, right? They got their momentum back. They were able to, a great big save there from Stanton. They went right down the field with a nice opportunity, but it's unfortunately it's a little too late. It's 4.5 minutes there, and it's a 2-goal deficit.
As Raiders with another chance, it'll go just wide, but momentum can carry over, and the Bulldogs do have another opportunity to play in just 3 days. They'll take on Kenyon College on September 25th. Kenyon is a team that the Raiders had tied with 0-0 back on September 17th. So previous matchup there, and I'm sure Kenyon will be watching this game as film, having one team they'd already played and drew with and another team coming in.
Yeah, and if you're the Bulldogs, you're just trying to take these next 2 games and build on whatever you can and clean up as much as you can before conference play starts. You're trying to be in your best possible position before you get into these games that really, really, truly matter throughout the season like your conference games do.
As the ball takes a Raider bounce and unable to get a clean look at a shot because Freeze did a great job with body positioning to cut off everything. As looking for the shot was Simone Thiel. Now playing it on the sideline. It'll trickle out for a throw-in.
Yeah, as we get to the last 2 minutes here, I mean, you can just see Mount Union's really come out to play the second half, and really the later half of the second half. They've put a lot of pressure on Adrian. They've made it really hard on them to get the ball to really their facilitators. They've blocked up Fosman throughout the entire day. They've not let her do anything. I think Batur as well, they've kind of delayed her.
Yeah, and when you run your offense through 2 players as your primary attackers, that's part of what the problem can be. I believe outside of those 2, Alana Earl is tied coming into today with shots sitting at 12. Another great header on the corner kick there as the Bulldogs are trying to move the ball up the pitch and potentially grab at least 1.
Yeah, I mean, like you've said, Fosman's taken 46 shots this year and without maybe a couple more today. So you're looking at around 48, 50 shots. That's a lot of shots for one player to have. I think as a team coming in scouting, I mean, you're going to know they're going to Fosman. They're going to that one player. I think it's a little bit too predictable. And when you run through Batur as well, who also gets your second-hand amount of shots, it's pretty easy to mark those 2 players and really kind of shut them down.
Yeah, Bader probably going to finish today with 14, 15 shots on the season, and Earl didn't have any in this game, so she'll come in third with 12 shots going into next game. But after that, Perney has 8. I feel like most of those were on headers as she's a defender. Everyone else, it's under 3.
Yeah, you're not looking at you're getting a lot of great defense from this back line. They hold up. Obviously, they've had a couple slip through their cracks today, but it hasn't been bad. They've supported Stanton very well today. Just unfortunate when you can't get any offense going, that puts a lot of strain on your back line. And only having 2 players, 3 players that really have seemed to play a massive role on offense, it's hard to consistently keep up scoring.
Malcolm going to play it long. 10 seconds remain as the PA starts counting. Some contact there at midfield as DeCunick was trying to play the ball up. She'll get called for a high kick, but it won't matter as time will expire, and we will call an end to this game. Went into half 0-0. Now we go into the final at 2-0, and it was a really struggling second half for the Bulldogs, seeing a great save down there, and then the 2 goals for the Raiders. So going forward and everything the Bulldogs did today, how are you feeling for the Bulldogs season, Michael?
You know, I think coming out in the second half, it looked very promising. They came out, they had a lot of pressure putting on Mount Union. I think down the stretch here, I think they just have to work on, incorporating a few more people into their offense, kind of making it a lot less predictable if you're Adrian going into conference play, especially where you see these teams year after year, kind of incorporating more people into your offense could really help kind of step up and maybe surprise teams. Like you have teams that have film that know you use Fosman, they know you use Bader, kind of throwing in someone new or maybe a couple new focal points could really help.
So I think the Bulldogs are going to do really well this season, especially once you get into the conference play. As you mentioned, you see these teams year after year. They did really well in conference. They made it to the MIAA tournament last year. This is a team that knows how to win, and they've hit a little bit of a rough patch, but I think Nathan Kronwetter is going to get things rolling right. He'll leave this game sitting at a career record for the Bulldogs at 23-16-4. So doesn't leave a lot of games with ties, but he's definitely won more than he's lost.
Yeah, it's a coach. They know how to win, and especially since they have a lot of experience on their team as well, with plenty of seniors, 8 seniors total on their team. I know they are in 6 juniors. They know how to win. They've been there. They've done it. It's just a matter if they can clean some things up before conference play, which I do believe, like you said, they will have a lot of success once they kind of get right in the ship and get to conference play.
As you can see, a nice moment there. Bulldogs line up shoulder to shoulder, and they start applauding as, of course, once again, it was the Sammy Strong game colon cancer fundraising, and very big moment. That's why you see so many players wearing blue on the field for the Bulldogs. So we've talked about what this loss means to the Bulldogs. What does this win mean for the Purple Raiders as they move on to face off against Case Western Reserve on the 27th at 7 p.m.?
I think it's a huge win. Obviously, it's their first road win of the year. They haven't been able to sneak one by on the road, so I think getting that first road win is huge for the confidence. It kind of lets them know that, hey, we can win on the road. Obviously, going into their next game, they do have it at home. They have the luxury of kind of taking 5 days to rest here before they can play, and I really think this is a big win for Mount Union, who gets to a winning record on the season at 3-2-2.
So looking ahead at the schedule for ACTV, women's volleyball tomorrow plays Siena Heights. That is a 6:30 start time. Nothing on Wednesday. On Thursday, men's D1 will host Northwood University at 7:30 p.m. On Friday, men's D1 hosts Northwood for the second game of their 2-game slate. That is a 7 p.m. start time, and I believe it'll be myself and Alex Herman on the call for that one. On next Saturday, men's soccer will be playing the College of Wooster at 4 p.m., and that will end the week for the Adrian College TV schedule. One last thank you to the rest of our staff. Of course, today was a very fun game, and we couldn't have done it without everyone else on the back end helping us out. Of course, myself and Michael Schubeck on the call, Remy Gilniak as our director, Lauren B on camera, Anna Kier taking B-roll, and Dakota Schneider helped us on the back end, of course, coming in there towards the close to help us finish things out, our streaming coordinator, Josiah Durrell. And that'll do it as we move on to the next game on the slate. It's going to be some volleyball. Be sure to tune into that. Thank you for tuning into this one. My name is Sean Whitmer, and we'll see you next time.